My name is Ellen Mattson. I'm a writer, a novelist. I'm a member of the Swedish Academy and also of the Nobel Committee, and I will try to explain a little to you about the process, how we choose a Nobel laureate. There is a system for the nomination process, otherwise it would be overwhelming. So we have people all over the world who are entitled to nominate, and these are scholars, critics, spokespersons for literary organizations, other academies. Previous laureates can nominate, and of course the members of the Swedish Academy. So we get a lot of names from all over the world. Theoretically, anyone can be nominated, yes. Anyone who writes excellent, outstanding literature, but there is no other demand. Just quality in the work. It's all about quality, literary quality, of course. The winner needs to be someone who writes excellent literature, someone who, where you feel when you read that there's some kind of a power, a development, that lasts through books, all the books. But the world is full of very good, excellent writers, and you need something more to be a laureate. And it's very difficult to explain what that is. It's something you're born with, I think. The Romantics would call it a divine spark. For me, it's a voice that I hear in the writing that I find in this particular writer's work and nowhere else. And it's very difficult to explain what it is, but I always know when I find it. So it's something you're born with, a talent that gives that extra dimension to that particular writer's work. There's no age limit, no, but it takes quite a lot of time to be a good writer. Sometimes it takes your whole life to be a really good, excellent writer. So it follows that most laureates are not young. I would say most writers are my age, maybe a little younger, and often a little older. It is possible to find a laureate who is perhaps 30 or 40, but it's highly unlikely because, as I say, you need time to develop. It's a lifetime's process to reach that level of excellency. No, actually, absolutely not. If you don't mean the kind of personality that shows itself in the work, but we never look at a person's personal life. That is totally irrelevant. What we look for is always just excellent literature. It's literary merit. That's the only thing that counts. Well, my favorite thing is that I get a chance to read all these wonderful writers and to read in depth, read so extensively. Usually when I've worked with many committees and juries for literature, and usually you read a couple of books or perhaps just the latest book. But here we read all the books by all the candidates. You read and maybe you read them several times to really get to know the candidates. And so it's a vertical reading, and Sometimes that means having to work with yourself to overcome some kind of resistance you feel. Maybe you feel that you don't understand this writer, perhaps you don't even like this writer. But my job is to broaden my mind and try to read until I reach a point where I understand this particular writer. So it's a lot of work, but it's a very enjoyable work, and I feel also that it's a very good thing for my brain to overcome resistance, and sometimes you get a little lazy as you grow older. You like to read your favorite writers, and you sort of stick with them. But here I'm constantly challenged by new authors, and that is a great joy. And of course I also like the process of discussing these writers with my fellow readers in the committee and in the Academy as a whole. It's a very simple thing. When we decide, when a decision is made, the permanent secretary goes out to make a phone call. So then the telephoning starts, and sometimes I think it's a little bit difficult to track down the laureate, and maybe it's not the right time of day or night for that actual person in whatever part of the world we're talking about. But it's by telephone. Well, you can win a Nobel Prize if you spend your life reading, writing wonderful literature, and really dedicate your life to writing, and become a really good writer. But you also have to have this particular talent, and that is something you can develop it, but you cannot create it within yourself if you're not born with it. I'm quite certain of this. So it's a combination of hard work and talent. But the hard work part is not unimportant. It takes a lot of work and dedication to be a really good writer. The announcement will take place on 7th of October. So anyone who is interested in literature, watch out for that particular date.